I just don't understand Republicans, that's all. Sounds like you came in the middle of a conversation, but no, it just started. I just don't understand them. I have no ill will against them. I mean, that's fine. But those that support individual one, Donald Trump, I don't understand you. You don't understand that if Trump was out of the way, then Pence would be president, and you'd still have somebody representing your Republican policies in a more fiscal conservative manner, in a probably more intelligent, respectful manner. I don't understand what your problem is. Why do you huddle around this fanatic idiot? I don't get it. This guy that's being played by every other country. You're being played. If you're a Republican, you should hate Trump. You should say, get Trump out of the way. He's just a loudmouth idiot. Put Pence in there. He's automatic replacement. Then we've got ourselves a party again. I don't understand what you people are holding on to. Thank you for listening to me. Have a good day.
On the air everywhere, this is New England Broadcasting.
Welcome to the Ron Van Dam Show. Hold on tight. Things can get a bit weird, if you like that sort of thing.
Are you still with me? Huh?
Whatever.
All right, fine. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. That's the idea of this whole thing. It's the Ron Van Dam Show.
Sit back, relax, grab a cup of coffee, a cup of tea, whatever your liquid libation may be in the morning, and join us as we take a look at the world around us. As much as it's a pleasure to be with you, the pleasure is actually all yours. And now, here's your host, Ron Van Dam.
Thank you very much, Julie. Welcome to the program. Hey, let's go to the White House, see what's going on. I see a whole lot of pies and seltzer bottles and people running around. Normal day. Look, there's the president. Look at him. Look at it. Look at his orange clown face. Look at the shoes. Look at the shoes. That's so funny. Oh, man. Look. Oh. It's really not that funny. I don't understand you Republicans. Why? You're like the Titanic. The Titanic. And it's going down, it's sinking, and there's another ship next to it that's also a Republican ship, but you're not going on it. You want to drown. I don't understand you. What's wrong with you? You don't get it, do you? You don't get it. You don't understand. You're delusional. You're just like the guy in the White House. You don't understand what's going on. The Russians want to upset democracy. The weaker they can make democracy, especially the United States, the weaker they can make it, the more divided, the more slapstick, like you just heard, the better off for the Russians. Don't you understand? It is proven. I don't know how much, with all this fake news stuff, I don't know how I can convince you that Russians have been indicted for their crimes. They've admitted to them. They've been using Facebook and Instagram and all these things to promote this propaganda to keep Trump viable, because Trump destroys the country. He divides us on purpose. The Russians love this. They couldn't have spent better money to do this. They lessen the sanctions. Russia can run amok. Nothing happens to them. They've got an American president who loves them. And I'm not talking about the Russian people. I'm talking about the Russian government. The Russian people are fine people. I know some Russian people are fine people. Not that I ever wanted to build a hotel there. It's different. But it is a fact, and you don't have to believe me, it's a fact that the Russians used bots and various propaganda through Facebook, through newspapers, through manipulating our media in order to make sure Trump was going to be president, because Trump is the puppet of theirs. The stick doesn't even have to go up the ass. The whole hand fits. And you're falling for this. Each and every one of you are falling for it. Just revealed today one of the biggest propaganda moves that the Russians paid for from an organization in St. Petersburg, Russia. They placed ads. You may even remember it. It would pop up on your screen. It would have a big picture of Robert Mueller with a black background. And it would say the following. It would say that Mueller is in cohesion with the Islamic terrorists, that his background is with Islamic terrorists. I mean, nothing could be further from the truth. You know that. Yet this is what they paid in order to catch stupid American people, not people listening to this show, you're smart, but stupid Americans, and there are plenty of them, to see this on the internet and go, oh my God, Mueller's a horrible thing. Mueller's got to be stopped. You don't understand what the Russians are doing and what they couldn't be happier. They are so successful. They have put this country in turmoil. And instead of all of us gathering around and saying, oh my God, you're like invading our country psychologically, until we gather around and say, no, you can't do this. Instead, you hug the president who thinks that this whole Russia thing is just a witch hunt. Wait until your children are indicted, Don. Wait until you get that little subpoena in the mail that says you've been indicted. There are 19 investigations against the president right now in various forms from various districts. Every phase of this man's life is turning out to be a little shady. You better dump the bastard, because he would dump you in a second. Dump the bastard and move on to the Pence and continue your Republican agenda. I don't understand why you don't do that. Is it the clown makeup that he wears? Is that the attraction? I don't know. I don't know. Is it the sexual affairs he has and says, I don't know anything about them. I never paid anybody off. I never had any discussion about it. And then he admits, yeah, I did it. And his attorney says, well, no one got killed, so it's okay. You can break the law if no one gets killed. That's not a big deal. This is all just so crazy, man. At one point, do you stop and say, this has got to stop. I ain't putting up with this crap anymore. I said it a long time ago. Jump on my boat. Ooh, that sounded wrong. Jump on my boat. I don't know if anybody should be saying that in public. Oh, man. This is so not cool. So here's the way it comes down, ladies and gentlemen of the jury. I know a lot of people that are book smart, have tons of degrees, 90 degrees, 60 degrees, that kind of thing. Very, very smart people, book smart, scholars, know stuff about facts and figures and locations and everything. Then I know people that are street smart. They don't read books a lot. They don't really have a big schooling background, but they're street smart. They know the streets. They know how to interpret things. They look for certain things. They know in society what's going to happen and where it's coming from. They look over their shoulders. They're omniscient. They protect, they fight, they know the ins and outs of every part of daily life because they've lived it. And they're smart in their own way. And that's impressive to me. Street smart. You can't put anything over on a street smart person unless you're asking them a trivia question. They don't know the answer to that at all. They don't know the capital of France. I think it's Paris. No. Yeah, it is. You got to be street smart, man. You got to know how to open a jar. You got to know how to figure things out on your own. That's street smart. That's valuable because these days, living in society, you got to be street smart. We're living in the streets. These are the streets. It's every man and every woman and every child out for themselves. People are trying to scam you, give you false information, manipulate you, convince you of things that aren't even there. You need to be smarter than that. It's the dumb ones, the unsmart street people, that are taken by anything anybody says. So, beware, buyer. Beware, buyer. Okay, let's move on. The holidays are coming up, as you know. So's my dinner. And people are buying pets as gifts. Now, you know that that's not a good idea. Buying a pet, bringing a pet into the home is like bringing in a family member. Pets are not little items. They're family members. They're living, breathing entities. They have life. Some people go as far as to do the exotic pet thing. I had turtles when I was a kid, and I had a little salamander. In retrospect, that was pretty stupid. It was pretty stupid to have those things as pets, I think. Certainly the salamander. I mean, what the hell does that thing want to do in a little tank for my edification? I mean, for what? Some people do the exotic pet thing. So what's the difference between an exotic pet and a wild animal and a domestic animal? Well, it's about time we found out. Cassandra?
Hello, good morning. How are you?
Hi, Cassandra. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Cassandra Koenen joins us now. She's worked for over 2 decades with animal welfare and all types of groups. She's an expert in the field, and we're talking about sharing our homes with domesticated animals, which would be the animals that we share our homes with. And it's kind of interesting because we're coming up on the time of year where animals are considered gifts. I don't know if that's a good thing or not, is it?
Well, I think as long as, what we're asking people to do is just take a lot of care and thought before they buy a pet or get a pet as a gift. And, the campaign that we're working on is we're encouraging people not to purchase exotic pets, which are the birds, reptiles, and animals like that.
In some states, I think they're even illegal, certain ones.
That's correct. Across the different states, it is state by state. Yeah. The type of animal that you can keep, some are considered dangerous, and some are, there are rules that do change.
Yeah. How do we know the difference between a domesticated pet and a wild pet? I suppose I don't know. There are many sources for pets, so it's hard to tell sometimes.
Yeah, that's a really great question. And a domesticated animal like a cat, a dog, a ferret, or a rabbit, they've been selectively bred over thousands of years and many generations to take out the traits that make them more acceptable to live with humans and able to live without suffering. The difference that we have with the exotic pets is that they're not domesticated. They are taken from the wild, and even if they're bred in captivity, they're only several generations away from their wild homes, and they just simply are not. Yeah. It's just not a great environment for them.
I mean, it's also kind of a human common sense thing. I mean, any animal that has to be caged and restricted, like a bird in a cage that has wings, I don't get that. I don't quite understand why someone would even have a caged bird.
Well, and I think that's a really great point, that a lot of these animals, they simply cannot live out their full lives in captivity, whether it's a bird not being able to fly the miles that they do every day, or whether it's a ball python that normally stretches out its entire length of its body to digest its food. It's not able to do that when it's living in a tank.
Right. Yeah, so I think humans have to bear some responsibility here too, beyond what the restrictions may actually be, without question. What if you currently own an exotic pet? Some of these pets grow quite large and could grow into a situation that isn't healthy for them.
Well, that's an excellent point. What we're finding is that a lot of people are just simply not taking the time to educate themselves before they make that purchase. Either it's impulsive or they're just excited to have something different.
Yeah.
And the reality is these animals do grow to be quite large. Their personalities will change. They as I said, they're wild. So, they could become aggressive as they grow older. And there simply is nowhere for them to go. So what we're asking people who have them is to really talk to experts, if they haven't already, to ensure that they're giving the best life possible to that animal. And the one thing we certainly don't want people to do is if they do become disenchanted with the animal that they've selected, that they just release it into the wild, because that just disrupts the ecosystem of where you're living.
Well, that also, the animal has not been equipped over the years to live in the wild, and they're sitting targets, really.
Well, that's exactly right. That they, after living a life in captivity, they aren't prepared to live a life outside of that environment, and they often become dangerous to other animals in the wild that aren't used to having that particular species in their ecosystem.
Well, you mentioned speaking to an expert, but that's kind of, I don't know where I would find an expert in these categories, though.
Well, and that's one of the challenges, and veterinary care is also one of the challenges for these animals, is that a lot of our, vets in the neighborhood aren't experts on ball pythons or slider turtles or, sugar gliders. Yes. And it's one of the challenges of owning a wild animal and owning an exotic pet. So the best thing to do would be to go to your local SPCA, or your local, look for animal welfare groups. There are, a lot of availability online. There is a lot of information online, but that is definitely one of the challenges. Okay.
Dogs are definitely gift items. I hate to put in that category, but it's kind of true. I remember watching an episode of People's Court when I was younger, and Judge Wapner said that a dog is not a member of the family. It's something that you own. It's an item. And I was terribly offended by that, but I guess in the eyes of the law, that's the case.
That is one of the challenges. We consider animals as possessions, and when we don't consider their sentience, and when we don't consider that they're individual animals, I think we do look at them as property. And this is why they're considered so disposable, and you're seeing that with exotic animals, where people will just dispose of them. Yes. And I think when you're talking about giving a gift, whether it's over this holiday period or for a birthday, you really need to ensure that the person you're giving the gift to is fully prepared to take on the responsibility of that animal.
Yes, there's no question about it. All right. Where do we go for more information? Because this is a more information kind of thing we're doing here.
It certainly is. You can go to our website at worldanimalprotection.us/exotic pets. And you'll be able to find out lots of information about our campaign and information about why not to buy an exotic animal.
Cassandra, you're doing good stuff, and I appreciate that, and it's great talking to you.
Thanks so much. Have a great day.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Are you aware that 1 in every 7 Americans is in desperate need of a dope slap? Studies show that every 17 seconds in America, someone writes, says, or does something so incredibly stupid that they deserve to be slapped. And you can help. If someone you know commits an act of boneheaded stupidity, simply extend your hand with the palm facing to the side, draw your arm back, and deliver a sharp, solid blow straight across their forehead. It's called a dope slap. It only takes a moment to perform, but the lesson can last a lifetime. This has been a message from the American Dope Slap Association and Metro South Podcasting.
Here's another example. You got to be alerted by this. Listen to me. This is important. Do you have a Netflix account? You do. I see. There have been some bots on your computer. They are scams. You will see them pop up, and it will say they're in email form from Netflix. It looks like the Netflix logo, the whole bit, and it says "Dear Person," and it's got your name on it. Or it could say "Dear Subscriber." It says reconfirm your Netflix account, update all information. And then you click on it, and it has your name and all the pertinent information that Netflix is supposed to have and does have. It asks you to reconfirm it. When you're doing that, you're putting your information in again, and you're allowing the pirate who is sending this to you to collect your personal information. It looks like Netflix. It isn't Netflix. Netflix has put out a warning that there are pirates that are doing this to steal your information. It is not from Netflix. If I didn't tell you this, or you didn't hear about this, you would probably confirm your reservation. I'd like to confirm my reservation, please. You would confirm your account and give the pertinent information out, and it would have been stolen. People are trying to trick you, manipulate you, hard word to say, manipulate you, in every shape, way, and form. And you've got to be looking over your shoulder 24/7. And that goes for what the president says, which is basically lies and misconceptions. And that also goes for your little internet games and your little Google machine. There are factions that are constantly trying to steal from you and trying to trick you. We are in a society of look over your shoulder, you better watch out, they're all out to get you. I don't mean that in a negative way. It just is true. Okay. Let's fluff it up a little bit. My good friend Melissa Gerstein joins us. She's the person behind an organization called the Moms. And as it is the holiday season, she helps commandeer us through these very hard, difficult times. She's a lot of fun, though.
Hi, Ron. How's it going?
Hey, Melissa. How are you doing?
You miss me?
Yeah, I did. That's why I told him I have her call me as soon as possible. Can't stand it anymore. So,
oh my God,
there
that's
you
funny.
are. Well, no, it's true. Melissa Gerstein joins us now. She's a lifestyle expert, and my life has been empty without her. So let's get going here. It's the holidays, and I don't know what the hell to do. I got to visit people. I got to bring gifts. I'm beside myself as I am every year. It gets a little stressful and chaotic.
Well, you said it. It does get stressful and chaotic. You know what? It can get messy.
Yeah.
Kids are screaming. It feels like we're constantly juggling a million different things. But you know what?
What?
I do look for direction, and I look for ways to simplify my life. I'm working with some great companies today, and they have been some lifesavers. So let me tell you.
Okay.
With so much going on, you have to find ways to save time for yourself. You know, the mom is doing it all.
I know.
And one day I have done this is by reducing the amount of time I spend in the laundry room. I have 5 people in my house, 3 kids, and it can seem like the laundry piles up for days, and especially during the holidays. So that is why Samsung's Flex Wash and Flex Dry is a great resource for me. With the flexibility to wash and dry multiple loads of laundry at the same time, it's basically 2 washers in one. They've got the top load for the smaller items like the T-shirts and a full-size front-load washer for towels and bedding. And the same goes for the dryer. There's a special drying zone on top for delicates and then a regular-sized drum for larger loads. But my favorite part, ready for this?
Yeah.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Drum roll.
Yeah.
You can monitor and control the laundry process right from your smartphone.
There's no way.
Yeah, right. And it's a must for busy holidays. And lastly, if you buy during the holidays, you can save up to 20% on Samsung.com. How about that?
I'm floored.
Well, how much laundry are you doing a day?
None on my smartphone, I'll tell you that. Probably I do about 7 loads a day. No, that's not true. I'm lying. I do maybe 1 load every 3 days, which is a lot for a guy.
You know what? That is a lot for a guy.
Yeah,
I think.
well, I change a lot.
Okay, well, that's good.
I think we shouldn't get into that part, but anyway.
No, let's move on.
Yeah,
moving
please.
on.
Yeah,
moving
thank you.
on.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
What else do you have in the bag of stress-free tricks for me?
You got it. I'll tell you. So, the holidays, well, we all know, there's all these stats all the time. They're the busiest travel times of the year.
Yes, that's true.
Every family's hitting the road to celebrate, driving, flying. So as you can imagine, that's just a wee bit stressful. Long lines, holiday traffic, McDonald's lines, travel delays, so much happening. But instead of couch surfing with the in-laws, which I definitely do not want to do, or traveling, back after a long day of celebrating, turn to trusted names like Days Inn by Wyndham. This has been a real lifesaver for my family when we travel. My family gets a great room, free Wi-Fi, free breakfast when we stay in best of our average rates are around $75 a night. So if you book at daysinn.com before January 9th, you can also save 10% or more. Because the holidays are meant for spending time with family and loved ones, and it's easy to feel overwhelmed. Days Inn helps give my family the space we need to really enjoy our time together and not be so stressed.
That is perfect. The only thing is, what do you say to the people who say, oh, no, you can stay here, or please stay in our guest room? How do you get out of it and say, no, I'm going to stay in a hotel?
No, you're going to say, I'm going to stay at Days Inn. It's the most comfortable family place to stay. Very simple.
As opposed to your house.
That's it. That's it.
Okay.
And that P.S., we need a break. You're boring me with your story. We need a break now.
You were so transparent.
Time for us to take a break.
You were so honest.
Take a break.
All right.
I'll see you in the morning.
Wow.
No, just kidding.
Sounds like stress has gotten
No,
to you.
I feel badly. No, I do love this time of year. It is truly magical. But also with all the holiday parties, cookie swaps, and activities, it can be very easy to forget about a little self-care, and specifically our teeth and our kids' teeth. But this year, no one in my family is going to be worrying about broken wires or busted brackets in their braces from crunchy holiday cookies or sticky foods. Yeah. Invisalign treatment can be incredibly smart, and it's an incredible resource to help fix your teeth, your teen's teeth. And parents like me, I'm going through Invisalign treatment, and the clear aligners are so easy. Floss, brush, take them in, take them out, and they work on simple to complex cases. And let me just say, Invisalign treatment has done wonders for my daughter. We've seen major transformations in her smile in such a short time. Okay. So when she's done eating, she just brushes and flosses and then moves on. It's really great, and it's been a big, real confidence booster for her, too. So like I said, it could not be easier, Invisalign treatment.
Oh, that sounds good. I didn't even know that was around. And you can brush your teeth from a smartphone. Am I confusing?
No, you can't do that. Okay. I know you're so clever over there, but you can't do that.
All right. Now, what else to make everything stress-free?
Honestly, you have to say to yourself, and I do this a lot, it happens once a year. The kids are young once, and it really is about family, and we don't know what tomorrow will bring.
Yeah. True.
Seriously.
True. Well, you're right.
I mean, I've had a lot of people get sick in my family, and so I really remind myself of that all the time. I found myself stressing out about Hanukkah last week over something so stupid.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? They're all so blessed to even have gifts and a roof over their head. Shut up, Melissa.
Wow, what a perfect...
In my head, I said, shut up, Melissa. I wasn't walking around the streets of Manhattan telling myself to shut up.
Although...
Well, I'm glad I'm entertaining you at 7, whatever it is, 21 in the morning.
Yeah, I think it's 2 in the morning. I have no idea what time it is, but... yeah, you can yell at yourself. It's okay. Maybe it gets things off the chest. Well, look, you got tons of things, and Melissa is a mom. Yes. There's like tons of people in her house, and if anybody gets stressed, it would be her. So take the advice accordingly. Where do we go for more information?
You can go to my site, themoms.com, and
there you go.
There you go. That's it.
Yeah. Well, have a wonderful holiday.
Well, you too, okay? Thank you.
Thank you very much. You take care.
Okay, bye-bye.
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 Bye-bye. Bye-bye. She's adorable. I don't know what to tell you. Yeah, that's a lot of stuff coming out of her mouth about stuff to buy, but she's adorable. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm out of time for today. I'll be back again tomorrow with a brand new show. Until then, I wish you peace. Stay observant and stay smart.